channel. As you can tell, I'm in my pajamas. I'm nice and comfy with my brew nice and warm. If I were you, I would definitely get into my PJs, get something comfy, because I've got story time for you guys. If you're new here, hi, my name is Hosanna. This page is dedicated to my lupus journey and being on kidney dialysis. I post about my day-to-day life and about my condition as well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Feel free to hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. I do post every Sunday at 3 o'clock, just in case you wanted to know. If you hear any banging or screaming or any type of noises, don't worry, the kids are fine. It's my nephews have come over for a sleepover, so this house is usually like manic when they come over. So there'll be a lot of banging and play fighting and stuff like that. So if you do hear that, just ignore it. It's just the kiddies having a sleepover because I just let them run free. You know, like them days like when we were young and our parents just used to let us like run free. Well, my parents did anyways. So just a quick backstory before I get into the video. I was diagnosed with lupus. I was living my life just like everyone else, partying, drinking, basically not living the best life that I could possibly have, not taking care of my health very well. Yeah, I used to go to the gym and eat healthy, but at the weekends I'm going out drinking and doing vapes and all sorts of crazy stuff. And then I got diagnosed with lupus and everything changed. And having lupus gave me kidney failure as well, but I'll get to all of that in the video. I just wanted to give you guys a backstory. There are videos up about my lupus diagnosis and my kidney dialysis journey as well, and my kidney journey altogether. I'm gonna link all the videos for you so you can start watching it from the first one onwards. So that's what I post on this page. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in learning about lupus and kidney failure, then keep watching. And if you just love watching other people live their day to day, then you will love this channel as well. It's for everyone, chit chat, communicate, everything. So in January I literally thought this was it. I thought that's it, I'm dying. I literally thought I was dying. Like, it was so bad, I thought I was dying. I thought I was going to die. So what happened was, during the December period, I was really unwell, but I didn't listen to my body because I was just so busy, you know, with work and everything, because working in the beauty industry, festival times are your busiest times. So you can imagine, I was literally jam-packed. I did not listen to my body, I did not rest. I was working from morning till night, client after client after client, including weekends. I was just always working, trying to get that paper, because we all know January is very quiet. So I didn't listen to my body, I didn't let it rest, even though my body was screaming at me, telling me something is wrong, you need to chill out, you need to calm down. Like, I was always in pain, I couldn't walk properly, but I just blamed it on working too much. I said, my legs are hurting because I'm working too much. I just need to sit down, I just need to sleep it off tonight and I'll be fine. That was not the case. So fast forward, January, so still in December actually, I was just really swelled over Christmas. I couldn't walk really, I couldn't bend my legs. It was awful. But I just thought it was a lupus flare-up. So I just thought, oh, if it's a lupus flare-up, it's just gonna pass, because that's what happens when I get a flare-up. I'll get a flare-up and then it passes, you know, especially bad ones. Like some days I can't even get out of bed, you know. So to me, I was like, it's just a lupus flare-up, it's gonna pass. There was no passing. There was no passing. Nothing had passed. So anyways, I had celebrated Christmas, I'd celebrated New Year's. Then obviously I went home, you know. What a way to start 2025, being rushed to hospital. When I went home after the New Year period, about probably like a week and a bit later, I just wasn't well. I was bedbound. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I couldn't poop. I couldn't wee. I couldn't move. You know, I was just not well. I was hot, I was sweating, but then I was so cold. You know, I just was not functioning. the way I should, you know. But again, I just blamed it on the lupus. I was like, this is just another flare up, it would pass. But it didn't pass, so I rang my mom. I said, can you come over? I think something's not right. So she came over straight away, and after she came, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulder. It was like my body knew like I needed someone else there, because I was home alone with the kids. So I feel like my body was fighting to just stay alive, because as soon as my mum came, like I just sort of blanked out. I just sort of can't remember much. Everything's daisy after that. My mum was so concerned. She obviously rang the ambulance straight away, but you know, I don't know about anyone else's areas, but ambulance is here, take the mick. So they said it's a 4-hour wait for ambulance to come to us. And I'm thinking, I don't have 4 hours, mate. I don't have 4 hours. I need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital right now. So then, we just went straight in my mum's car, straight to Wigan Hospital. And to be honest, Wigan Hospital is like one of the worst hospitals ever. Like, it is absolutely horrible. They left me sat down on the floor for 8 hours with no help. All they kept doing was doing my blood pressure. My body is like a balloon. I'm in and out consciousness. How have you left me on the floor? And I don't like dirt and public places, but I was in that much agony, and I was that dehydrated and that tired. I sat on the hospital floor, nothing underneath, because I was in that much pain. I had to sit, and they left me on the floor for that long with no help. No one was seeing me, and I understand like there's other people there as well, but for 8 hours you can see that I was not well. Anyways, they finally saw me. They only saw me because a night nurse came on, and she was like, why is she on the floor? Have you seen the state of her? She looks awful. And then when they tested everything, they tested and found out that my kidneys, the function is dropping. It had dropped to 10%, which is like really bad, because a normal person's kidneys functions at 90% and above. So you can imagine the horror, right? So they put me in a room, did loads of tests. After like 50 times of them trying to get drips in me, because I was that dehydrated, my veins were dry. They poked me so many times. I was in that much pain everywhere. They even tried to put it in my foot. They put it in my foot. They put it in my foot. They tried to do the needle in my foot. Nothing. My arms, both my arms, everywhere. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like, 6 different nurses and doctors tried to get a vein, but I was so dehydrated, because all I was doing for a week was throwing up, but I couldn't take anything down, back in. And the reason why I was swelling up, throwing up water but can't drink, is because my body was producing fluid. That's how much fluid my body was producing. I was choking to death. I was dying, you know. After they finally got a vein and they put a drip down me, you know, for water to hydrate the hell out of me, because I was dehydrated. They put me in a room because apparently I have a virus now. So me and my mum had to isolate in this room because I have a virus. My mum didn't want to leave me, so we had to stay in this horrible, horrible cold room. But in that moment, from being on the floor for 8 hours into that room, I was so thankful to God. I was like, thank you, God. And that water that was being pumped through my veins, it felt, it felt amazing. Still in pain, but amazing. Like, I was hydrated, you know, and God was just there with me. Like, I don't know how I made it, guys. I really don't know how I made it. I really don't know how I made it, but I made it. Anyways, I laid on the bed, still swelled as anything, and then we stayed there for a few more hours, and then they came back and they referred me to Manchester Salford Royal Hospital. So then we went there, and they put me straight away in a room, admitted me in a room. I was number 12 actually, and yeah, like when I got that room, and I got that little small beds, them hospital beds. I felt like I was in a 5-star hotel. When I finally got on that little bed, imagine the hospital beds, I felt like I was in a 5-star hotel. I was still in so much pain, but I managed to sleep for an hour. And I needed that sleep. I needed that sleep. So then they did loads of tests and stuff. They put me on water tablets, which helps drain the liquid out of my body, and the water drip as well to try get the swelling down. So yeah, they didn't really do too much. They just took like bloods and stuff like that, and the swelling did start, you know, coming back up and going back down. But then they sent me home, which they sent me home way too early because I was still swelled, and they were convinced that these water tablets will reduce the swelling. So then I went home. About 5 days later, I was humongous. I was gonna die on my couch, right there. I was gonna die. I went for a nap when I dropped the kids off from school. I went to nap, and something woke me up in my nap, because when I woke up, I could not move. I felt like my body was stuffed inside a balloon. You will never know that feeling unless you swell up that quickly, okay? You will never understand the horrific. I couldn't bend. Everything was like this. I couldn't do this. My arm was this big, huge. My thighs, huge. Stomach, huge. Back, huge. Face, massive. Massive. Luckily, my phone was next to me, so I managed to grab my phone. I rang my mum straight away. She was like the closest one straight away. I rang the ambulance straight after my mum, because I know people be like, oh, you should have rang the ambulance first. But I needed to ring my mum first, like she needed to know what was going on, you know, because I put my kids first. So I need to make sure my kids are great first before I'm going to no hospital. I need to make sure they're good. So if she knows, then I know that she knows that if anything happens after here, she's got the kids. The kids are great. So my mum came. I have never seen the horror on someone's face before, trying not to look scared, not to make me scared. She said she saw horror. She said it was the most horrific thing she's ever seen in her whole life. She said she does not wish that on anyone. She was like, seeing her daughter like that was the scariest thing of her whole life. She was like, 1 minute I was not swelled, the next minute I looked like a balloon. I was massive. I was massive. I was huge, like a balloon. Everything was so painful. I can't explain to you. I thought I was dying. I could feel my skin expanding. I could feel my skin ripping. I could feel the pain of it ripping. I could hear it cracking. The amount of stretch marks I've got in my midsection. You probably see one of my shorts or my TikTok videos, you see the stretch marks, because my skin had expanded that much. My face was like mumps, huge. Like I was in so much pain, I couldn't bend anything. I was like this, literally. I'm not even joking. My legs were like stiff. I had to go to the hospital stiff. I had to lay down going to the hospital like with my legs up like that, because I couldn't bend. I was that swelled and my skin had no room for anything. Every movement, every time I moved a little bit, it felt like someone's scratching me with razors over and over and over again. It was the most horrific thing I've ever had to experience my whole life. I thought I was dying. And then to top it off, I was choking because the fluid had gone in my lungs. So I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe properly. I'm in pain. I have to lay down because I can't bend, but if I lay down, I'm choking, I'm coughing, I can't breathe. It was horrible. So I had to sit in the most awkward, uncomfortable position ever just to get to the hospital. So from Wigan to Salford, it's about 45 minutes. 45 minutes of agony, 45 minutes of bumps. 45 minutes. Oh no, that night was horrid. And then when we got to Salford A&E, oh, 6 hours wait again, in pain, and every time I'd wait, I'd get bigger and bigger and bigger. My mum had to beg, she was like, my daughter's dying. She's dying, we need a bed, we need to get seen. That's the only way they saw me. Otherwise I was gonna pop. My skin was leaking with fluid, because there's nowhere for the fluid to go in. It was leaking, I was leaking water. Couldn't poo, couldn't wee, couldn't eat. Just throwing up and leaking from my skin. Leaking liquid from my back, from my skin. Like, I've been through it, me. I've been through it. Like, I've been through hell, mate. Like, I've been through hell, and I've come back. And I've come back, like, a lot stronger. But I went through it, mate. When I say that's the moment I found God. I had to. I had no choice. I had no choice but to say goodbye to my old ratchet life, from my ghetto life. I had to. I was dying. I'm not going to hell. I was like, no. I saw him. He was there right next to me the whole time. He gave me strength that I didn't have. Because I didn't have it. My kidney function is dropping. My body is swelling and swelling, so swelling and swelling. I'm not being seen. I'm in pain. I'm dizzy. I'm choking. God is good. He gave me strength, like, when there was no strength. He made a way when there was no way. Like, I am living proof that God exists. He exists. Even if you didn't live the best life, he still loves us. And I have never seen and heard him more clearly than I did. And he's never showed me, I've never seen his love, more clearly than I did in that moment. I saw it. Even though I was in so much pain, I seen his love. Because for some reason I just didn't give up. I was still fighting, I was still going. You know, there was nothing on my head that I'm gonna die, even though I knew that I was dying. I knew I was dying. Anyways, I finally got seen and I got admitted again. Funny enough, I got put in the exact same room as I did 5 days prior. So that was like quite nice. At least it wasn't different or anything. It was literally the same room, same setup, and it was, you know, it was all good. The only difference was this time there was a dialysis machine next to my bed, and I was a bit like, no thanks. It was huge. It was the hemo one, the one that goes in your chest. I was like, no thank you. No thank you. When I saw that, I was so scared. I think things started to hit home a little bit. Things started to really hit home. I'm like, wow, I'm ill, aren't I? Like, this is real, like, this is real life. But anyways, they gave me loads of drips. Gave me loads of water drips and loads of water tablets, because I had to get this swelling down, and this liquid had to come out one way or another. And then on top of being so dehydrated and so thirsty, I was on a 2 litre, yeah? But anyways, so then they tried everything they could to save my kidneys, literally tried everything. And then they offered me a kidney biopsy to see how much of the kidney they can save. And honestly, I didn't want to do it. I was crying, I was screaming, no mom, I don't want to do this biopsy. But eventually I knew I had to do it, do you know what I mean? So I did do it. Absolutely horrific. I was awake during the whole thing. I felt everything they were doing to me. It was the most horrific experience of my whole life. Like, that was traumatizing. And then I had to go through a lung biopsy as well, and I had to put a camera down my throat as well to make sure everything is fine. Obviously, when the biopsy came back, there was scar tissue on the kidneys. The function had dropped to 7, which was really bad, because if it goes to 5, I'm dead, literally. So they were like, we've tried everything, you have to go on dialysis. Oh, them words, I was so scared. It was like, because you're scared of the unknown. I didn't know. So it was so terrifying for me. Like, it was terrifying. I was shaking, I was crying, like, it was terrifying. I was like, no mom, I'm ready to die. Like, I'm not going to live my life on a dialysis machine. What's the point in living if I'm going to be stuck to a machine for hours? Because I didn't know there was another option of the one that I do now. So I was like, no way. There's no point in me living if I'm going to be spending like 5 to 6 days a week in hospital for 8 hours. I was like, no way is that happening. Anyways, we talked about it. They gave me options, and then they asked me if I'd had surgery on my abdomen, and I said no, I have not. And then they said, oh, perfect, then you'd be a good candidate for the PD catheter, for the dialysis to be done through your stomach, so then you can do it at home. In that moment, I just knew it was God. It was God, because I didn't even know there was such a thing. I just knew it was God that gave me that way. Because I've had 2 kids. One of them, I had them when I was really young. You know, I could have had a C-section with either of them, but I didn't. Because if I had had the C-section, I wasn't going to be a candidate for the PD catheter in my abdomen. So it's just God. Like, it's like God starts your story from so far, like from so far away. It's crazy. Like, he already knows. He already knew that I needed to have kids early enough because my future was the way it is now. He knew how much I wanted kids to have kids. So he made sure I had them early enough. Because, boy, life does take 360 turn. It does change like that, because mine definitely changed in a snap of a finger. But anyways, yeah, so they told me the options of the PD catheter, and yeah, we had to do it, and I had to do it straight away. I actually got my catheter done on my son's birthday. What a day to shed my old life, huh? Like, the day my child was born is the day my new life began, and I'm never gonna forget that day because it's his birthday. And that's when they put the thingy in my stomach. This time again, I was up for this one, but this time I was like, I am getting sedated. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna feel nothing. I was like, you're gonna double sedate me. They sedated me the first time. I was like, I'm not loopy enough. Like, I want to be loopy. I want to be high. I want to be high. I want to be so high. So I demanded for a next one. I was like, if you don't give me one, I know I'm gonna move. Like, I'm watching you from my stomach. You think I'm gonna stay still? That is impossible. Not for me. It's impossible. Not in my brain. I'm not gonna let you cut me up. I'm not gonna watch knives going in my stomach. Are you crazy? So yeah, they double sedated me, and I was up during the procedure, but I don't really remember much. I remember some bits, but I was so high, like a kite. Like, I was high up there. I was really gone. I kept getting out. I was loopy. I was gone for like 2 days. It was like having an edible. I was gone for 2 days. My mum said I kept coming in and out consciousness after the procedure had been done, because I was high. And I feel like it's sick, but that I felt great. That was the first time after all this has happened since December that I just felt great like that. I just didn't care because I was so drugged up. I just didn't care. I felt good. I slept. You know, I was even eating like really well and everything. You know, it was the time that I felt, wow, I feel good. So that was done. We pretty much started the dialysis straight away because we had no time to be chilling about, wasting. Usually it takes about 2 weeks after the procedure for you to start the dialysis to let it heal. But I had no 2 weeks. I had no time left. They literally told me, you've got days to weeks to live. if we don't start the dialysis now. And I was like, okay, shove it in. But I think because I was still a bit on the meds and stuff, it didn't really hurt, I didn't feel much. And then that's how my, you know, dialysis journey started, really. So that's how my dialysis journey started. Yeah, and the fluid was coming down really well off my body. Like, I was looking slimmer again, and I felt good, you know, like I could sleep laying flat again, because for other weeks I had to sit up like this to sleep. I could bend, you know, my knees a little bit, I could move my arms a little bit. It was just the small things you take for granted. I could sit down in the toilet. Before I couldn't sit down in the toilet. It was just the small things you take for granted sometimes that you have access to, you know, and I didn't have access to a lot of things in that time. I couldn't wash myself, I couldn't go to the toilet properly. It was, I couldn't walk, I couldn't move, I couldn't eat properly. It was horrible, you know, and it makes you realise that you're so lucky in life, and like God has blessed you, and God is all in. Like, we don't thank Him enough, do you know what I mean? Like, we don't thank Him enough for all these beautiful gifts He's given us at life. Like, there's people out there who live the way I did, like just every day like that, you know, but then they don't have the help that I got. I got the help and I got it quick. There's some people, like I have family members who have passed from kidney failure because there was no help, you know. But yeah, so I started to, you know, feel a lot bit better, and then that's when I started my chemotherapy journey as well in the hospital. I've got a video of that as well. I'm gonna link it if you wanna see my chemotherapy journey. That's to do with the lupus side of things. That's a whole completely other story. But if you wanna know, like if you watch the other video and you still have more questions about either lupus or kidneyarthritis, I'm happy to make another video for you guys as well. But anyways, fast forward, we're now in March. I finally was able to go home. I was nice and slim. I was feeling healthy, like obviously definitely still very weak, but to me I was strong because I'd been even weaker. So to me that was like, I was strong. I could sit down, I could move around, I could lay down, I could breathe. So, you know, I came home and everything, and I got settled in, and it was even nice and fresh because I had just moved into this house in December. So it was like a nice, clean, fresh home. So it felt really good coming back. It just felt good, and they had banners. When I came home, like they had banners up for me, like all my nephews were here, my kids were here, my sister, my brother, my mom. Like it was just the most like so beautiful thing. Like, and you know, you just really appreciate your family, and you just like realize who's there. Like my family dropped everything for me that 2 months when I was in hospital. They dropped their lives for me. My mom, my sister, my brother, like my brother-in-law, like they dropped everything for me, and they were there. You know, it was a last minute thing because I was rushing out of hospital. As soon as they said you're ready to go, I was like, I want to go today, I'm not waiting. So they like rushed and made sure like they put the banners up and everything, and I got home and I just sat down on the couch and I just passed out and I just laid down, and I was just like holding in my tears so bad because I was in so much pain. I didn't want to start crying, but then I was just so relieved that it's over. But at the back of my head I was like, oh, what if I wake up swelled again, you know? Like it was just that anxiety, like. But I kept saying to myself, no, God won't allow you to do that again. Like, you've been in hospital long enough. Like, it's time. I've learned my lesson and I'm sorry. But yeah, but you still get that anxiety. You still get that, oh, you know, because that's what happened. I fell asleep and I swelled. I was like, what if I fall asleep and I wake up like a balloon again? But, you know, my mum was there the whole time to make sure I was fine. And yeah, like, it's just, then obviously I started to regain my strength again slowly. I started doing my dialysis at home. I've got a video of that as well. You can watch it. I'll link it in this video as well, so you can watch it about doing my dialysis at home and stuff like that. But yeah, like it was just a really crazy experience. how quickly things can change and how quickly your mindset can change as well. Like, I used to be crazy. Crazy. Every weekend you will see me outside. You will catch me outside. You will catch me with a bottle or 2 or 3, 20, vape in hand, out until after o'clock. Friday, Saturday, out, crazy. Then rough for the rest of the week, dragging your body, so unhealthy, and then it hits Friday, back out. And it was just this cycle that I was in with the people I was surrounding myself in. I had to let go of my old life completely. I had to get rid of my old life completely. My old friends, my old clothes, my old everything. Even the old house had to go. Everything had to be stripped. Everything had to be stripped. My whole life had to be stripped. I had to say goodbye to it completely. There was no ifs, there was no buts, there was no keeping extra. No, everything had to go and had to go pronto. My life had to change, it had to change now. And I'm not saying there's some things that I haven't stopped. Like, yeah, there's still definitely a few people still in my life and a few habits in my life that I need to drop. But from the person I was last year to the person I am now, you would not recognize me. You would not even think it's the same person. Like, people who meet me now, and if people tell them about stories of what I used to do, they won't believe it. They'll say that's a lie. It's not the same person. Because I changed so drastically. I found God. That's what happens when you find Him. You see the truth, you see the light. Everything I used to do in the past, all the bad habits that I used to do in the past, they're just icky. The people who I used to surround myself with just ick me out. People who still do them stuff ick me out. Like, and it's not your fault. It's just now I see, and I can't unsee it. It's just icky to me being surrounded by people who do things like that, who do bad things to their body, who speak a certain way, who gossip about people, who dress a certain way. Like, I'm just so changed. I used to dress a certain way, but now I'm more modest and covering up and stuff, and I'm just trying to follow what God wants. Like, I'm just trying to follow what God wants. And I'm not perfect, trust me. I've got a long way to go. And do you know what? I'll probably never finish. But I've definitely come a long way. If you guys want to talk more about how I found God, please let me know in the comments, and I will let you know how I found God, how I did my transition, how it was, if it was hard, if it was difficult. I'm happy to talk about it and share with you, and maybe help someone else out there, help, you know, the journey, and not necessarily just to find God, but if you want to live a healthier, better lifestyle, stop drinking. I'll tell you what I did to stop all of that rapidly, and to be clean very, very quickly. It was a long and draining journey, but at the end of it, it's always worth it. So that is the end of my video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Feel free to comment down below and discuss what you've heard in the video, or if you have any other questions, you can just pop them in the comments down below, or I can make you a separate video if you've got any more questions about lupus and kidney dialysis and all my life journey, basically. Yeah, and if you're new here again, thank you for clicking on my video and watching and following back, or following or subscribing or liking my video. Thank you so much. The support counts, and I appreciate every single subscriber and every single like and follow and share everything. I appreciate you all. Thank you for supporting my small but growing channel. I will see you guys in the next video, and have a happy Sunday and a great rest of the week.